The original idea was to develop a play with 3 women, a Jewish woman, a Christian woman, and a Muslim woman.
It's been a moving experience from the very beginning.
There was this whole sort of like dialogue going on amongst a lot of the theater artists in New York about doing plays about the Middle East, and I think that had something to do with our talking.
Everybody in this room has stuck with this and felt more and more, we've got to do it somehow.
I read Prophecy and loved it and was thrilled to become involved.
I think it's a brilliant script. It speaks very dearly to me.
For me personally, the Palestinian, Lebanese, American, and never having felt comfortable being an activist in a certain way, but having my voice be through the theater or the art that I do, for me it's very important to give voice to these people and these characters.
Not many plays are being produced in New York, the center of theater in the United States, that deal with contemporary issues like these.
It is important that this play get on. How often does one of the great writers of the American theater write you a part?
And beautifully written, I should add. Her writing is quite powerful and quite strong.
For me as a playwright, a character is a combination of the playwright and the actor. The actor breathes the ultimate life into the character.
Karen had incorporated things that I had said and felt.
In a way, it's right that the play should have been born out of this community of people who could hand it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's about hope, it's about excitement, about possibility.
It's about a synthesis of all these things going on in the world that are bringing us together and connecting us as a world.
There's the tragedy of Jeremy, a young man who is bearing a burden that he simply can't bear, and that probably none of us in this room could bear.
He's a kid who wants to make good, and it's not so easy.
It's also the story of a marriage, and anybody who's ever been married to a partner for any length of time knows that a story of a marriage is a great comedy. If it's a successful marriage, it's really funny.
There is a way in which it's also a play about how it's easier to be old than young.
Yes.
You see, because when you're young, you have to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is seen in exclamation points.
Right.
And when you're old, you make it work.
The very first public reading we did at New York Theater Workshop, we knew that this was something special.
A lot of people were saying, including Olympia Dukakis, who was in the audience, oh, you've got a fantastic play.
Every time we did a reading, more and more people came spontaneously out of the audience and just said things that were so moving.
I happen to have, as most Arabs do, a lot of family in London. The one branch of my family that is actually Iraqi. There's a connection to it that is thank you. Thank you for playing the character that represents us and actually saying things that we would say and not being a stereotype.
The characters all transcend themselves, and that affects the audience, and the audience therefore is also more open at the end of the play.
It gives you time to consider another possibility without ever simplifying the complexities of the political positions that are taken.
You sit in the audience and you feel like, okay, I feel like I can do something, or I should do something, or I am responsible, and that's a huge thing for theater. I mean, theater should do that.